people, how's it going? This is Rusty Darlington coming to you from Rusty Darlington's YouTube channel with a track-by-track video focusing around my brand new self-titled debut album that drops on Spotify and all other major streaming platforms on June 6th via Rustic Records. Let's get into it. A small bit of history before we get into the tracks. I started this project pretty much just at the start of 2021. I really jumped the gun and released a photo of a river. That's it there. It was edited that I took like a year prior to that, and I came up with the idea of, you know, just wanting to do a solo project. I've been in bands before, you know, and for whatever reason they just haven't worked out. And as I got older, I realized that I got anxiety dealing with strangers. Who doesn't, right? But like, you know, so I was like, do you know what? Stuff this. I'm gonna do it all myself. You know, that was always in the back of my mind. And then weirdly enough, I watched a film called Lords of Chaos, which was, you know, the black metal film about mayhem and whatnot. And as funnily bad as that film is, it was weirdly, for me at least, it was weirdly inspiring. I would watch that film and be like, look at this, you know, Burzum is one man. So it was, and you know, I'm not burning churches, I'm not murdering people, but it was like, it weirdly gave me inspiration to be like, I can do that as well. And you know, yeah, black metal projects mostly are one-man band things. So I was like, I didn't go out of my way to make a black metal project. I just wanted to make a heavy metal project surrounding the things I love. The album, like I say, a lot of the two major songs, which I'll talk about, were written like 10 plus years ago. Everything else was written fresh, brand new, no recycled riffs and all that jazz. But like I say, two songs were, but we'll get into that. So over the past 3 years, I think, is when it's been like, you know, more focused and more serious for me to be like, yep, I can actually do this. I've got my instruments. I've got all the software that can do it. I've got MIDI things, you know, I'm in my own home. So I've got like I had the environment to do it all. And I had a very supportive partner who was, you know, willing to let me sacrifice some time and get it done. So like I say, that was at the start of 2021. So it's now 2023. So we're 2 years in, and yeah, that's sort of where the inspiration and stuff came from. So yeah, now I'll take you through track by track and just give you little brief bits of history, little fun anecdotes about it. So yeah, let's get into it. Track one, funnily enough, is called Intro. I wanted it to have like a cool big name. I got a list on my phone of like just cool little sentences that I could call instrumentals and stuff. And for this one, I didn't, because it's an opening song. It's an opening piece, right? It's just the sound of water. It's the sound of creaky wooden ships, you know. And then there's a little melody that gets played on a hurdy-gurdy and an accordion. And was it a tambourine that I used for percussion? But like I say, it's only like 2 minutes long. How long is it? It's 2 minutes 13. So nothing really comes out of it. It's just like an atmospheric vibe of an intro song, you know, inspired heavily by the likes of maybe like, you know, Insiferum, how most of their albums start with orchestral intros, things like Glory Hammer, you know, Rhapsody, like just real. Obviously, they are quite theatrical and symphonic intros. Mine is nothing like that, but that's where the inspiration for that came from. So yeah, I just called it Intro. So yeah, it just sets up the listener for the second song, which is Black Flag. So Black Flag is actually, no, Black Flag is the second song that I like seriously sat down to write back. I'm talking years ago, like 2014, when I was, how old was I? I was 2014, 2013. Yeah, I was 21 when I wrote Black Flag. And the inspiration for Black Flag came from a bug fly can spray, you know. Black Flag, it's deemed like one of the more serious ones to kill all your bugs. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that's that's funny. That's pirates, blah blah blah. And I'm a massive. If you're new to the channel, you'll soon find out that I'm a massive Ailstorm fan. I'm a massive pirate metal fan. So I was like, pirate metal is fun, and I've learned really kind of easy to write. So I vibed with it, and I went along with it, and I took it at the time. I was in a band, and I took it to the band, and they were like, "Yep, this is fun. You know, it's a good song. It's only five. What is it? It's 5.5 minutes." Just a song that sings about day-to-day life in a pirate world, pretty much. You know, firing cannons in the sky and just battling with swords and things like that. It's nothing. It's nothing to be taken seriously. But I love Black Flag. When I finished it, I was very proud of it because I wrote it, you know, about 10, 15 years ago, whatever was it? Yeah, 10 years ago, and then I brought it. It never got finished, so I brought it back for this album, and I love it. You know, I got solos in it, and I got MIDI stuff in it, you know, and I put cannons in it and swords and stuff. Water makes it sound really, really, you know, complete and full. So yeah, I love Black Flag, and I released that already. It's already on Spotify and it's already on YouTube. So yeah, that's Black Flag. Really cool song. Pretty much the first single. The third song that comes off this album is an instrumental, and it's called Chaos Reigns. Now, this is another one that's already on Spotify. And again, this is one of those few, this is a recycled riff from high school days. I came up with this riff while I was actually having guitar lessons. So like, I always deemed myself being real proud to be self-taught until I started to realize that I need to learn a bit more theory, you know, how certain notes work with other notes and, you know, theory stuff. So I got lessons, and he really helped me out with things like that. And he was taking me through the modes. And one thing I learned, you know, I learned, that's right, I learned the modes, and then I was just jamming along with the modes, and I found that I was coming back to Dorian a lot, I'm pretty sure. The second mode. And how it's... Yeah, I pretty much wrote Chaos Reigns surrounding the whole Dorian mode, starting on the A sharp note. So if you know the Dorian mode and you play it on the A sharp, you pretty much have the Chaos Reigns song. I wrote it back when I was back in high school, so I was like 15. So this one's older than Black Flag, but I loved it. It's not, like I say, it's not actually about anything in particular. It's just like a fun, I call it thrash metal because at the time it was like one of the faster songs that I was writing. It's not the most intricate song, and I was very happy for it to be an instrumental because at the time I hadn't really like tried to learn to sing outside of the shower and stuff. So we worked it as an instrumental. It's been played live once or twice, I think, way back when. I think it went down okay. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, it was a good while ago, but it was great fun. I love the main riff. The little chorus figure is so much fun. The solos in it are kind of repetitive. Like they're two separate solos, but they repeat. Just one's a little bit more, you know, shred-like, and the drums pick up and all that jazz. No, it's really fun. I think it's one of the cooler ones. That was the second single, and that one as well is on Spotify. So yeah, so that's Chaos Reigns. Everything else after this, well, you know, starting now, is fresh, brand new riffs and fully me. So song 4 is called Spirit Witch, and this is where the listener might get a bit taken aback because it is full-blown second wave Norwegian black metal. So yeah, don't let the cover fool you. It's not a concept pirate album. I should have said that at the start. So Spirit Witch is a black metal song, heavily inspired by pretty much by Mayhem. It's pretty much it's more or less the same riff as De Mysteris, just it's that figure. Do you know what I mean? But like, the inspiration for Spirit Witch came from a dream I had. I swear, I'm not making this up. I remember having, this was, I wrote this one about a year ago, 2 years ago. I wrote it at the airport. I had a dream, and it was a bit of a creepy one, like an exorcist-y type dream. There was something chasing us. Something was around. It just wasn't a good time. And I remember just before I woke up, I remember whoever it was, some character in the dream was saying, all I remember hearing was, "She will be the Spirit Witch." And then I woke up and I was like, that's pretty metal. So that day, I went to work at the airport, and I continued to write Spirit Witch lyrically. I wrote it lyrically in a day, in a shift. It was what, probably about 6 hours long, the shift. So it was, like I say, reading the lyrics to Spirit Witch. It's very typical black metal. It's just a Satan worshipping song, and who doesn't, you know, who doesn't love a bit of satanic worship? Am I right? I had to put the devil in this album somewhere. And obviously I did as well put him in the release date, June 6th. I was like, yeah, go on. I could make it June 16, that's my birthday, but I was like, nah, we'll do June 6th as well. But yeah, like I say, Spirit Witch is just a 4-minute, it's almost like a single. It's very quick. I wrote the music for Spirit Witch here all in a day. So you could take that to be, it's a very uninspired song. It is in a way, like, but it's simple and fun, because I won't lie, I do struggle to write singles and simple songs. I love long songs. I love Dream Theater. I love Maiden's long stuff. I can't play progressive metal, but I did want to do something like that. But anyway, yeah, so for me to come out and write a 4.5-minute song, to me, is quite successful, because I generally, most of the time, can't do it. I've already got an intro that goes for 2.5 minutes, so I need to squash it all down. But yeah, this one, again, just has some cute little ear candy stuff, like bell chiming and a girl screaming. There's fire and piano and stuff. It's good fun. I like Spirit Witch. If you're a fan of black metal, keep an ear out for that one. It might excite you. All right, track 5. Track 5 is probably the first. It's the first epic of the album. It is called Santa Sima Trinidad, and it's another pirate song. Except this one is more epic, and it's more not progressive, but it's more epic, and it's bigger. It's more grand. It's 8.5 minutes. It starts again with water and sound effects and there's a quote in it from the TV show Black Sails. This is where the inspiration for this song came from. So back in 2015, I found a TV show called Black Sails. It's obviously about pirates. It was on par, in my opinion, it was on par with Vikings. Not so much Game of Thrones. I wasn't watching Game of Thrones at the time. Funnily enough, we've actually just started watching Game of Thrones again. But anyway, yeah, Black Sails is just another... Black Sails confused me because, unlike Vikings is a true historical drama. All that stuff happened. Game of Thrones is 100% non-fiction, right? So it's... Wait, no, sorry. It's 100% fiction, so none of it's real. Black Sails is, like, somewhat in the middle. It's very weird. So it took me a while to figure this out. Black Sails is a prequel... The TV show is a prequel to the story Treasure Island, which is fictional. Right, so John Silver is in Black Sails, and he's not a real person. But then, and so is Captain Flint. But then the likes of Jack Rackham, who's a real life pirate, he was the one who made the Jolly Roger flag famous, and his partner Bonnie Ann and Charles Vane, he's real. There's these real pirates in this fake TV show. So it really confused me. Anyway, the point I'm getting at. Black Sails Season 1 is about these guys going after a big pirate ship, big Spanish ship with a bunch of gold on it. And like I say, I was just watching Black Sails again, and I was like, that would make a cool song. So there we are. Santa Sima Trinidad is the name of the boat that they're after. Well, it's actually called the Urca de Lima, but it's also called the Santa Sima Trinidad. I don't know. Yeah, so lyrically, this song was really quick to write. I wrote this while I was at work, in between little jobs. Not at the airport, elsewhere now. Because, like I say, pirate music is quite easy to write. So lyrically, this one didn't come so hard. I had a lot more plans with the chorus. I wanted a bit more of like a chanty section when they shouted the name Santa Sima, but that didn't come out. I wanted a third verse as well, but I didn't put that in. I was like, nah, the solo gives off the end of the fight type thing. Like I say, it's 8.5 minutes long. It's epic. It's probably my favorite song on the album, and probably my most singing one. It's probably my best singing performance. So yeah, really excited for you guys to hear Santa Sima Trinidad. Keep an ear out for that one on June 6th when it drops. But yeah, I love Santa Sima. Please get excited about it. Track 6 is another little instrumental, and this one is called The River That Flows Upwards. And I've dedicated this one to my darling partner Jessica and my new baby son, who's not born yet, but he will be. Who will be born very, very soon. And it's just a little guitar tap figure, clean. It's a guitar tapping thing with is it 12-bit delay on it? I don't know. I put a delay effect on it, so it sounds like I'm tapping, a lot more than I am. And there's a stream sound effect in the background. Again, this one's only a minute and a half, but it was just a fun little do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. When I hear it, it kind of reminds me of like an old, like the old 80s guitar video instructing videotapes that everybody got back in the day, like the screens when they light up and it says like tune down to whoever, and it plays that little funky music. That's kind of what I see in my mind when I hear The River That Flows Upwards. And I gave it The River That Flows Upwards the name because I wanted to give it a mystical name. So yeah, like I say, there's nothing hugely amazing about that, but it's 90 seconds of me dedicating it to my closest loved ones. So yeah, it's awesome. And then the last song, track 7, is what I considered to be the epic, like the big epic. I'm a massive Nightwish fan, and I'm a massive Dream Theater fan, as I already stated before. This one is called The Wish of Our Dreams. It's 9 minutes and 56 seconds long. I was like, I need a long song on this album, and this was the first long song I wrote, and this is the one that I experimented with orchestras. I wanted a symphonic metal song on this album somewhere. Massive Nightwish fan. They do it obviously fantastically. I do not claim to be a composer of orchestral music at all. But maybe in the future, if I do future albums, so we'll just progress from there. Anyway, so this one is about pretty much seasons and the beauty of the earth and all things like that. Again, this one dates back to when I worked at the airport. I did a really early shift once. I started at 5 in the morning, which was obviously black. It's still, the sun hasn't come up yet. And I think it was raining. I'm pretty sure it was wet that morning. But then by the time the sun had come up, it had stopped raining. And it was a beautiful clear blue sky, and the tarmac was soaking wet, and the puddles were reflecting, everything. It was actually, and it kind of moved me in a way and made me think, damn, this looks nice. And from that, and then I went back inside and I continued to write The Wish of Our Dreams. Like I say, it's inspired by that. Also taking influence from Nightwish's The Greatest Show on Earth. It's also taking influence from Dream Theater's A Change of Seasons. There's sections in it talking about different seasons, and then there's a winter section, and then it repeats, and then it ends as it begins, just like seasons do. That's like my take on the whole progressive thing, but it's definitely more symphonic than progressive. I'm not claiming to be progressive at all. This one took ages to write musically. I kind of struggled through the second half of it. I had a little guitar figure, which I then thought, well, at the time I was like, that sounds nice. I can't actually remember. No, yeah. I wrote that because I wrote all the words first, which is how I roll. I write lyrics first, and then I write music to fit the word. I had a little guitar figure, and I was like, hey, that sounds nice. And I played it and I recorded it, and I was like, what to do now kind of thing. And then I got creative with the MIDI, the old MIDI orchestras. And I was like, do you know what? I played that little repeating figure on a harp, and I was like, yeah, cool. We'll make it a harp. So that's where that came from. And then I just grew from there. I added a cello, and then there was violins, and then there was second violins, and then there was choirs, and then there's chimes, and then there's metal. And then I took the choirs, I took the orchestras out for the verses, and I put them back into the chorus, and then you can hear it. I took them in and out throughout the whole thing. It's very cool. I'm proud of it. It's not our best singing performance, I won't lie. Also, I feature my younger sister on this song to help me give just a bit of a female touch female vocal into the choruses. She's not a soprano, you know, she's nothing trained or anything. It was just us having fun. So yeah, it's a good album. It's a good song. Sorry, I should say. I love Wish of Our Dreams. So yeah, and like I say, it's a 10-minute song and it ends how it begins, creating this whole resolution thing like seasons do, you know, it just back to the start. So yeah, that's Rusty Darlington. Yeah, so that's my track by track little interview, shall we say, of my upcoming self-titled debut album, Rusty Darlington. I was toying between whether or not to do this video or whether to do like an album release, like a live album release thing on YouTube. So let me know if you've watched it. Let me know down below if that might be something you're interested in, you know. Maybe no one will comment and I'll just disregard the silence and do it anyway, but we'll see how we get on. It's the 20th of May. We've got about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. We got a small little chunk before it drops. So like I say, keep an eye out for the album. There's, like I say, I'm on Spotify already. There's 2 singles on there. Go listen to them. If you've heard my music, let me know down below what it is. If you want physical copies of this, wait a minute. Let me see if I can actually get it looking good on physical copy without just doing a rough home job, and we'll talk later. That's why the Bandcamp tab of merchandise is empty. But yeah, I'm so fucking happy that my album is finished and I got it done before my boy turned up. That was my big goal. I was like, I need to get this done before this damn kid turns up, otherwise it's never gonna get done. So I pushed through and it got done. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I get interviewed by no one and I tell you my history of where songs came from and inspirations. Let me know down below if you enjoyed this video. Like it, subscribe. That's the only way you'll know when the album drops. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, team. Keep an eye out for the next video. I don't know when it'll be. I don't know what it'll be. But until it happens, everybody, stay inside, stay safe. Jam Rusty Darlington, and I will see you all in the next video. See you later.